Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today's October 7th, 2021. 3 days till kickoff.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 days till kickoff till we beat up on the Dolphins. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it's going to be.
It's going to be atrocious. Okay, we got a good show for you today. We're going to go over the All-22 game film, coaches film from the Patriots debacle. And
Debacle. We won.
Yeah, it was still a debacle. We should have won by 50. Then we're going to talk about the Miami game coming up. And we got some news. You got news?
I got a little bit of news.
Got a little bit of
smidge.
news. Yeah, we're getting this podcast out a little bit early. We're just going to go ahead and post it tonight, not wait for tomorrow. I'm just going to go ahead and post it tonight because I didn't get a video out. We'll cover that here in a minute. So, you want to just jump straight into it?
I do. Let's do it.
Try and get this podcast under an hour this time. Yeah, so we had said with the Buccaneers-Patriots game, we ended up winning. It's a close game. We only won by 2. Mm-hmm. Basically, they kicked a field goal at the end. Could have handed it back to Brady with, I don't know, what?
It was like a minute.
Oh, was
it a minute? I thought it was like a minute 50. I don't know.
Yeah, a minute and 3 seconds.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
I thought it was closer to 2 minutes.
59 seconds.
Okay. Gotcha.
No, 55 seconds.
Okay. For real this time. Definitely.
Somewhere in that area, about a minute. And, Brady, it would have been Brady. Most likely he would have went down and got us to field goal range anyhow, kick it, blah, blah, blah. But it was a lot closer than we expected. I mean, I picked, my score was like 45-10.
And remember the season at the beginning where you're like, we're going to be more reasonable with our score prediction.
I was serious. I said, no, I'm dead serious. And when I go through all 22, I'm going to explain to you why I was right. The score didn't show it, but I was right. Anyhow, our summary after the game was the following. The defense won us the game. Mm-hmm. It was not a very good showing by the offense. Again, too many dropped passes. I had counted 6. Some miscommunications. Leftwich did adjust play calling to the run game because it was working. He ended up putting the game in the hands of the defense at the end of the game, which was smart. There was 5 lead changes in the second half, 3 in the fourth quarter. They missed a long 56-yarder to win. Carlton Davis was hurt and might be out for quite a while. We got some news on that, too, coming up. But anyhow, so that's what we said. And it was pretty much, we're pretty much right on with the All-22. Now, if you notice in there, I didn't say anything about the refs. We said, the refs did okay. I'd give them a C minus maybe. This is after the game, before watching All-22.
I think, I would say C minus or D plus.
Yeah, refs never get higher than a C plus.
Right, exactly.
That's as high as
and so I'm like, were they that great? No.
Nah, so C minus, D plus. Yeah,
that BS fumble nonsense was just...
Oh, God. That in the hands to the face to Donovan Smith on that 40-yard bomb to Antonio Brown. That just infuriated me.
Ralph's been mad about this one all day. I heard about it first thing we were drinking coffee outside. And it's 12 hours later and he's still
12 hours. That happened Sunday.
But you watched it on the game film. We talked about it this morning over coffee.
Oh yeah, I did the whole looked up the gameplay rules and the rule book numbers. Got the wording down. Yeah, it should not have been, according to the rule book, that was nowhere near hands to the face. Hands to the face doesn't mean you touch somebody's helmet with your hand.
You can do that.
You can do that. You can't do it forcibly, and you can't.
It's the force that is the difference.
Right. And that guy basically put.
But if you use the force, don't touch it physically
well,
with
then
the
that's
hands.
just awesome.
You can do that. You can do that according to the rule.
That means your opponent gets to pull out a lightsaber. If you use the Force. Nerds.
I've never even really seen that many Star Wars. Did we watch one? We watched like one or two.
I don't know. I know you were forced to watch one at a party one time. And
No, you forced me.
I didn't force you.
You did.
There's a bunch of people we were watching. They wanted to watch Star Wars. And you're like, okay. And you fell asleep, I think. Yeah. As usual.
That's right. That's the part I remember.
So, what did we see in the All-22? I have been spending basically the past 3 days on this damn thing. And don't have a video out yet. Hopefully, we'll have one out tomorrow, maybe even Saturday. Don't know, because I'm doing everything different. I'm not doing my normal Tiffy videos. The reason why I did them the way I was doing it is because I could put the videos out as I was going through the game film. And I've adjusted that this year because of the way the game film is now. It's a whole different routine for me. So I figured what I would do is probably do more of like storytelling, kind of show, instead of just interesting things during the game, kind of show why the game turned out the way it did and some of the interesting aspects of the game. So what did Ralph see in the All-22? I'll tell you what Ralph saw in the All-22. We should have beat them by 50 points. That's no exaggeration. We should have slaughtered them. They were bad. They're not a good football team. Miami beat them. They're not a good football team. And it was really, really our offense. Now, our offensive line played great. There was like no pressure. It was the weirdest thing. So many times Tom Brady was just sitting back there. He'd be back there 4, 5, 6 seconds just scanning the field and nobody even getting near him. They hardly ever blitzed. It was almost always a 4-man rush, and they were no match for our guys at all. Now, I saw some...
I wonder if that was intentional and, they knew they couldn't blitz Brady. Like, he's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I saw some things that Belichick did that I think he did specifically for Brady, but not a lot. Bruce Arians was asked what Belichick did on defense that was different because Brady was there, and Arians was like, I didn't see anything. I saw a couple things maybe, but I'd go with Arians for me. There probably wasn't there. I was probably imagining it. But I do feel like they flooded the secondary. They definitely had a lot. Like I said, they had 4 guys rushing, hardly ever blitzed. And so the rest of the guys were just back out there trying to cover the passes, which they couldn't do. We had 6 20-plus yard touchdowns, right? Brady had 300 and some yards, no interceptions, 1 touchdown. It should have been 5 touchdowns, 600 yards, no interceptions, because our guys were just getting open. Brady was throwing it to them. They were dropping the damn ball. No,
I do not understand this. This is the weirdest thing because we had the same problem last year. And I would say...
I think it's worse this year.
The weather was certainly an issue, but it's been like that all year and last year.
Do you know how many balls the Patriots dropped?
How many?
1. You know how many we dropped?
How many?
7. Let me make sure I got that right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd counted 6, when I was watching the game, but then looking at the All-22, 7 dropped passes. Now there was 42 pass attempts by Brady. 7 of them were dropped. That's
1/6, right?
I don't know. I thought I had it.
Math.
Yeah, I thought I had. I thought I did the. Maybe Brady didn't have 42 pass attempts. I was looking at. That was
I can look that up.
Jones.
I have it open.
He had 42 pass attempts, but Brady had about the same. And a large percentage of it was dropped passes. He had 43. Okay. So he had 43 pass attempts. 7 of them were dropped. Okay. 3 of them were miscommunication issues. So that's 10 attempts right there that were just thrown out the window. 10. That's a quarter, right?
So 7 drops and then 3 miscommunications?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then that doesn't count the hands to the face penalty, the 40-yard bomb that was called back. And these drops were, I mean, they were right in their hands. The Antonio Brown one where it should have been a touchdown all day long. He's made that catch 5,000 times in his career. I don't know why. It just came right out. Cameron Brate just came right out. It bounces right off their hands. Now, here's the breakdown. Antonio Brown had 3 dropped passes.
My fantasy team felt that one.
Yeah, you would have won. One of them was a little high. He had to jump up, but his hands hit
If
the
you
ball.
touch it, you
If you
should
touch
catch
it, you should catch it. Yeah. Mike Evans had 1. Fournette had 2. And Cameron Brate had 1.
Are you sure Brady didn't have 2?
No,
I thought he had 2.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, he had miscommunication.
Okay. Oh, right. Was that the end zone one? Where he was not in the back corner of the end zone. He was not where he was supposed to be.
Right. Yeah, it looked like he was supposed to go to the pylon. And instead he stopped and turned around. Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff like that in this game. Like the Antonio Brown was running and Brady throws a beautiful pass to him. This was the one right before he drops the one in the end zone. He's going and he turns around, he looks for the ball and he puts his arms out like he's waiting for the ball to land right in his arms, and the ball lands 2 feet to his right. Oh, no. Right where he's at. It's almost like I don't.
Did he just stick his arm out and close his eyes?
That's how I felt. He was like, "Oh, it's coming. I'm just going to put my arm out."
It's a trust catch.
Yeah, trust catch. So it was just very strange. I know you don't see it often. Guy looks like he's getting ready to catch it. He's got his arms out. Waiting for it to drop right in the breadbasket, and it falls exactly 2 feet over on the right. And he turned around and looked at it. He looked at the ball kind of like, how'd that get over there? It was very strange.
It's a glitch in the Matrix.
Glitch in the Matrix, yeah.
How many pop culture references can we do today?
As many dropped passes as we have. Yeah, just not a good showing at all. Now, if you just 7 dropped passes, that's another 100 yards right there, and one of them we know was a touchdown, so that's another touchdown. There's no doubt in my mind, just that alone, we would have doubled our score, So, I mean, good grief, how many completed passes did he have? Let's see. Brady had 22 completed passes. So a third of his passes should have been completed. Another third. That was 7. So anyhow, that was bad. So we saw that. We knew it, but I didn't really see how bad it was on until you look at the game film. And these guys were wide open. It was not like they were covered and they were hard catches. No, they were right in their hands, and it just bounces right out. But you could say it was the weather, but Jones didn't have that problem. And, our receivers have been having this problem for a year and a half now. I don't understand it at all. I do not get why our receivers are dropping the ball.
We got a sick baby, y'all. So here's some coughing in the background, probably.
So that would have increased our score quite a bit, I think, if our receivers would have caught the balls. And why they're doing it, I don't know. It's a complete mystery. These guys are highly paid. They didn't have this problem with Winston. Evans didn't, drop balls right in his hands every game. Godwin wasn't doing it.
Does Brady put on like too much force? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, my theory is that he's just so accurate that it surprises them when it just shows up right in their hands.
Right, but that doesn't explain Antonio Brown.
Right, and plus you'd figured by now they would be used to it.
Yeah,
he's been doing this. He did throw some good passes. Now he had a few off-target passes too, but he threw one to Cameron Brate that was right in stride. I mean, Cameron didn't even have to breathe heavy for it, and it just landed right in his arms. He was cutting across the middle, and he ended up getting like an extra 10 yards falling forward because it was such a perfect pass that the yards after the catch were going to happen. There was no way you could avoid it. Just landed right in there. It was a really pretty pass. But Brady played pretty good. The offensive line did great. I mean, there was just no pressure at all. And Donovan Smith was the weirdest thing. This is probably one of the laziest games I've ever seen him have.
Okay. Now, I don't like this characterization of it because it makes Donovan sound bad. But it wasn't him being lazy. It was that they didn't give him a whole lot of work to do.
No,
the Patriots defense.
Right. I mean, number 9, Judon, was the main guy that him and Smith, showed off. And they got to give Smith any trouble at all. I mean, there was a couple times he got through, but generally it wasn't Smith's fault. It was Smith was expecting help on the inside or something happened. It just what he wasn't beating Smith. Let's put it this way. I mean, Smith was basically just stopping him with one arm as Smith was like whistling, looking around. But the weird thing of it is, and this is why I say it was a lazy game. I would probably say 20% of the time, 25% of the time, something like that, they didn't even have anybody rushing on Smith's side. He just stood there, had nothing to do. He'd look around for something to do.
I wonder if it's like, does Brady do better on that side? Like he crushes a blitz on that side. You know what I mean? Like, was that the reason? Well,
that's what I got to thinking, and that's what I said. That I saw Belichick did a little different. Is he would have all of his guys try to come up the middle. He would have like 3 or 4 guys come up the middle all at one time instead of coming around the edges. And I guess he figured pressure up the middle. You hear people say that all the time. Oh, you got to get to Tom Brady. The best way to do it is up the middle.
You got to get through Ryan Jensen first. Like, good luck with that.
Okay.
Alex Kappa.
Ryan Jensen had a great block. 3 guys came through, and they got through. And Jensen turned around and saw him, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And he like grabbed the first one and threw him into the other 2, and they all just went flying. It was great.
How did he not get a block in the back though?
Well, because he hit the guy in the side. He actually kind of like grabbed. I mean, didn't hold him, grab him, but kind of like grabbed him and pushed him into the other 2 guys. Yeah.
Like a domino move.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones where Smith was just standing there looking around for something to do. There's 3 guys coming up the middle, But he did. There was most of this game. I don't even think he broke a sweat in this game. Most of this game he was just kind of standing there looking around. And again, like you said, it wasn't him, but it did. He got lazy towards the end. He was so used to not doing anything. Towards the end, the game kind of got intense, and he was kind of like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I'm ready for a nap, guys." But anyhow, so the offensive line did great, and I really want to put that in the video that I'm going to make. Donovan, all the times Donovan was just standing there because I've never seen anything like it. He was just like, every now and then he'd look over and he'd chip on Marpet's guy or whatever, but most of the time he was just standing there doing nothing. There was nobody near him. It happened with Wirfs too, some, but not near as much. Anyhow, Fournette played great. Fournette game ball. No doubt about it. Fournette game ball.
What? I heard that our running game was non-existent this season. It's so weird.
Yeah, it was It was existent in this game. I mean, he just dominated just like every time. I mean, he is so good. You know, and I say this to Molly every time I watch him. I'm just fascinated by how disciplined he is. He's so good at reading his keys. Well, what I'll do is when I'll look at it from the end zone angle, and when he's going to run, as soon as he gets the handoff, I stop it. And I look at the line, and I look at all the keys. I'm like, okay, where is he supposed to run? What's the best place for him to run? First, I look and I see what's the play design. Where is he supposed to run? You can usually tell by the way the guys are blocking. And then I look at, okay, we know he's supposed to go here, but where is the best place to go according to all the keys? 99 out of 100 times, man, he does that. And then, when he runs and you see stuff shift and the keys shift, I'll stop it again and I'll go like, okay, now what is he supposed to do? And 99 out of 100 times, he does it. I've never seen a running back that does that so consistently. And he is patient and he'll run behind his guys and all that good stuff. There was one, a screenplay, or I can't remember if it was a screenplay or whatever, but he ended up bouncing to the outside. He was to the outside, and it had to have been a screenplay because there was 3 offensive linemen that ran over there with him. So he catches the ball, he runs, a bunch of guys come, they swarm him, and the offensive lineman thinks that the play is over, so they're just kind of standing there, and he pops out. He ends up getting like another 15 yards.
Oh my gosh.
But he pops out and he like runs by the offensive lineman just standing there. and you see him go, they kind of jump and they're like, oh crap. So then they're looking for somebody to block. That was pretty funny. But Fournette just did great. I mean, he was great. Now, Bruce Arians said today, talking about O.J. Howard, he said O.J. Howard played good, and he said he blocked well in the run game. He said the reason why our run game was so good is because O.J. Howard blocked well. I call bullshit on that. 100% bullshit. And that's not like Arians to BS, but I don't know if he's saying it to help the guy's ego or whatever, but it was bad blocking by O.J. Howard. I mean, he was basically useless in the blocks. About halfway through the third quarter in the fourth, he was picking up some blocks and, kind of getting in the way of people. But before then, he was just getting tossed to the side, and his guys were generally making the tackles. So I don't know what Bruce Arians saw in that. I'll sit down and talk game film with him if he wants to. I mean, normally I would defer to Arians, but in this one, no.
You can't.
No. Well, when I've been watching Gronk for a year and a half with his pass blocking, and it's fantastic. It's probably the best blocking tight end maybe that's ever played. And then to watch O.J. Howard, it's not even a comparison. It's like a toddler out there. He does look like to me that he doesn't really want to block. He's not. That's
how I feel. I feel like with everything, I don't think he wants to be here. That's the sense I get. Yeah,
I do. Maybe not that far, but I feel like he wants to be a pass catching tight end. And in Arians' system, you're going to be a blocking tight end. That's what he uses tight ends for.
Well, I feel like in his eyes, the tight ends have to earn it. And it was the same with the running backs and blocking. Like in his first year, he was like, if the running backs want to get playing time, they have to block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel the same way with the tight ends, and he's nowhere near a competent blocker.
Mm-mm. Well, none of them are.
Yeah.
None of them
except
are.
Gronk.
Except Gronk. Yeah. That's something we complained about before Gronk got here. I was constantly bitching about our tight ends can't block for crap. And Gronk is just great at it. I mean, he gets beat every now and then, but it's generally by a professional get-by blocker guy.
Yeah. Like a defensive end. Yeah.
Defensive end or something, yeah. So
he's the only tight end I know that could block a defensive end.
Yeah, he does it all the time. Yeah. So, anyhow, Donovan Smith, lazy game. You like my glasses? My old man glasses.
Do.
My Dirk Cutter glasses. He's a nerd glasses.
His
I need
are like
some tape.
what were way thinner, and then he always wore
Always
them
wore them
on
like
the end of
this.
his nose.
Looking up at
Oh
you.
my God, you look just like him.
I
now.
know, that's what I was thinking. Well,
Yeah, clipboard carrier.
I wrote my notes are so small.
Why did you do that?
I don't know, because I had such a small box to put them in. I got to
my
make these
gosh.
boxes
Get a bigger
bigger.
box.
What's in the box?
Okay,
Okay.
third pop culture reference.
Wow.
Wow.
Good job. Okay. Yeah, so, up until the third quarter, our offense was just playing with low energy. It was just very Fournette was really the only one, and Brady. But it just seemed low energy. Now, our defense, on the other hand, they were out there jumping up and down, making tackles. They were having a ball because they were just
Wouldn't
destroying.
you be? I mean,
No. And this goes to where I'd say again, we should have won by 50 points. We should have scored 50 points at least because our defense was just killing it in every aspect of it. Our defensive line, we were getting pressure on that dude. We hit him so much, and I mean hard. It was like he would get the ball off, and the next thing, I know he had to be sitting there going, where did that dude come from? He's like, 1 minute I'm standing here and I'm throwing the ball. Next minute I'm looking up at the stars. It happened all the time. Barrett, Tryon, Vita, and Devin White were just killing him the whole game. We blitzed like crazy. This is probably one of the most blitzed. We blitzed 43% of the time.
wow.
I know. And there were crazy blitzes too. We were coming from everywhere. Cockrell was coming. We even blitzed Sherman a few times. He got flipped up in the air. Yeah, their running back took him out at the legs.
Oh no, not the running back.
Yeah. Oh, Sherman had a rough time out there.
Do you want to talk about Sherman?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a
Okay.
second. So, the score was 6-7 until 3:33 in the third quarter. Can you believe that? We only had 2 field goals up until almost the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, insane. And like I said, our defense was just killing it. We were destroying it, and we were getting to him in under 3 seconds every time. I stopped at one time and I showed Molly. She was sitting at her desk. I was like, "Hey, you want to see what it looks like at 2.77 seconds to our opponents?"
And it was so sudden. It was like he was comfortable, and then all of a sudden a defensive lineman was in his face.
3 of
Like it
them.
was like they teleported
Yeah,
the whole group.
Yeah, you had Tryon, and then you had Barrett coming from the right, and then you had, I think it was Devin White coming up to no, I think that on that one it was Vita.
It was a Vita, yeah.
Yeah. And they were right there. He got the ball off, and then he was just a crumbled pile of mess because they just clobbered him. But, and that was 2.77 seconds. And that was 3 guys on him in less than 3 seconds. And this was happening consistently. It was like he had to get the ball out. That's what everybody, all the games this year, all of them have been throwing fast and throwing short. Because that's what you got to do against this team. And everybody's complaining about Barrett's not getting his stats and everything. That's why. Because these guys are getting rid of the ball quick. They're not giving these guys time to get there. And like I said, you give Vita 2.5 seconds, he's going to get to you. If he's trying to get to you, he's going to get to you in 2.5 seconds. Barrett had a great game. Great game. Tryon had a great game. But Barrett, check this out. This is going to blow your mind. Barrett he dropped back into coverage 11 times. 26% of the pass plays, he dropped back into coverage. Tryon, 8 times.
How's he in coverage?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's kind of like Barrett. They're both long and lanky.
You got a photo bomber.
She's all up in here. Yeah, they didn't break up any passes for much anything, but, they're there. And Vita dropped back twice.
Ugh. I hate seeing that.
I know.
I'm like, stop.
Nacho dropped back once. We were dropping everybody back into coverage every now and then.
This one was just like, hey, let's try some stuff.
Yeah. And sometimes they made a lot of sense. It was like third down and kind of short. You show blitz and then you drop a bunch of guys back, and next thing you know, the whole damn field's flooded with defenders. You're like, I have nowhere to throw it. That happened a couple times. You could just see Mac was just like, I don't know what to do. There's just dudes everywhere back there. And so 26% of the passing plays, Barrett dropped back into coverage. That explains a little bit why he's not getting the sack numbers. And this, I talked about this last year. They did this to him last year. They dropped him back into coverage a lot. But that was a lot, 11 times. That's a lot. So he dropped back 11 times. Tryon dropped back 8 times. And I think only once did they both drop back together. So generally that's like one of the outside linebackers is dropping back in coverage like half the time. But we blitzed 18 times on 42 pass attempts, so that's 43%. And like I said, they were crazy blitzes all over the place. And a lot of times our guys were coming in unfree. White came in untouched a couple times, clobbered Jones.
You can't do that.
No. Barrett came in untouched one time, which was the craziest. I'm like, who doesn't block Barrett? That's just no. And he clobbered Jones. Let me see. Sherman came in at one time and he got flipped. Sherman, God bless him. He's got heart like you can't imagine. But you could tell he was out of his element. I mean, he was. He doesn't have his football legs yet. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think too, not knowing the system, that doesn't help either.
Yeah, and we worked with. You could tell we did a lot of stuff to make it easier for him, more comfortable. But there was a lot of mix up in the secondary and with the linebackers and stuff, and plus with the linebackers dropping back into coverage. There was a lot of mix ups going on. But I mean, he did well for considering. The problem was you could tell that he was, I don't want to say tired, but he was like, damn, I haven't been hit or hit anybody in a year and a half.
And he's old in football years too. That shit hurts more now.
He said after the game he could barely walk because his legs were like jelly.
Oh my gosh.
From all
I bet.
Yeah. I mean, he only had a couple days of practice. And we threw him out there for almost it was 90% of the plays?
Yes. He came in, I think, Wednesday, signed on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Was that practice that day? So he had like half a day of practice that day.
Yeah.
And then he had Thursday. I think they practiced Friday, right? Yeah, they practiced Friday.
Yeah. And then walk through Saturday, right?
Yeah. So he had 2.5 days of practice.
I mean, it's almost unfathomable to, you don't have any training camp. You're not. I'm sure he kept himself in shape somewhat and everything, but there's nothing.
But he was also coming off of an injury. I mean, he ended last season on IR.
Right. So, you get immediately thrown into the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, considering that, he did fantastic. I mean, he didn't, but he looked very unsure of himself and hesitating and getting blowed up sometimes by blocks. And like I said, he ran in on that one blitz and he jumped up to try to bat the pass down and the running back took his legs out and he just flipped over. So that.
But thank God we had him.
Yeah. The secondary played great. The biggest issue is the issue we've had all year long is communication problems.
Which that was when SMB and Carlton Davis were in there anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
I mean, when we had our starters, it was like that.
I didn't notice any difference in. Matter of fact, when we played man coverage, I was amazed at how great those guys did. Sticking. I'd stop the thing and I'd look around. I'd be like, wow, there. You couldn't even fit a piece of paper between these guys. They're sticking to them like glue. There was not a single time. I think there might have been one play, but it was a weird one. It was trick plays where we did not have we had a receiver who was wide open, that our guys missed or got burned on or whatever. We stuck they played great. There was one time they threw a screen pass, and Whitehead saw it, and he ran probably 20 yards at full speed to this guy. And I thought he was going to kill him. I really did. I thought he was going to break him in half. And he went to make that tackle and missed it. and the guy ended up getting like 15 yards. It would have been a tackle for a loss for sure. And somebody would have been going to the hospital, I think. But it was just one of those where I was like, oh, man, that would have been so beautiful. Yeah, safeties played great. Everybody played great. You know, it was weird.
But not the offense? I mean, ish.
Well, right, yeah, besides the guys dropping the ball. But, I mean, they were getting open.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we had 3 miscommunication balls. But it was just dropping the ball, you know, and Devin White had an interception that he dropped, you know. Mm-hmm. And so the defense probably should have scored at least 1 touchdown, you know. I mean, they were
Look how spoiled we are. We're like, they didn't get a touchdown, so that's, you know.
Well, they played well enough. But what really hurt, and I hate to say this, I hate to say it because I sound like a broken record, but the refereeing. I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I didn't think it was horrible. You know, there was a few things, the hands to the face that was called back and all that. There was the fumble that they called back, said it was an incomplete pass. That was bullshit.
Or like forward progress was stopped. Wasn't that one?
Something, yeah.
It was so weird. They were like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, no, you're right. They called it an incomplete pass. Mm-hmm. But it was like he totally caught it, made some football moves. And that's what BA said. Like, I always thought going towards the goal line was...
If Barrett would have tackled him, that ball, it would have been down right there. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just one of those... You're just like, refs, what are you doing? So... There was a lot of that in this game. In the All-22, man, there was all kinds of stuff popped out. There was 11 missed calls by the referee. 11. That's a lot. And, you know, I try as hard as I can to not be completely biased when I'm watching this stuff. And, I mean, I know I'm biased. You know, so I'm going to, you know, see things to the benefit of the Buccaneers. But rarely is it us that get away with the penalties. Out of these 11 missed calls, only one of them was Buccaneers got away with it. That was that tripping call. You know, a guy plainly tripped the runner as he was going by. And who was that? Was it Whitehead? Can't remember. Anyhow, that was Buccaneers. So that was. But look at this. There was 3 illegal contacts by the Patriots, 2 false starts, 2. Now, one of them, this was on the only play I really want to talk about in this. This was in the fourth quarter, 1:15 in the fourth quarter. It's 2nd and 6, right? The score, we're up by 2. Yeah, we're up by 2. It's 19-17. They've got the ball on their 49, so they're at the halfway line, right? The guy false starts 76. He false starts. Everybody on the defense is jumping up and down and pointing at the guy. They're like, hey, he false started. And you can see it plain as day. And the guy even put his head down like, oh, man. And then he looks up and the ref didn't throw the thing. So then he freezes again. And everybody's jumping up and down going, everybody on the sideline was yelling. So anyhow. That didn't happen, and they had just gotten a false start to play before. It was 2nd and 1. They got a false start. It became 2nd and 6. So if this one would have been called, it would have been 2nd and 11, right? So the ball snapped. 84 runs straight into Levante David, 5 yards down the field. And Levante David is coming across the field to cover the running back who was going for reception out in the flats. 84 slams right into him and keeps him from getting over there. They didn't call it. And everybody freaks out. I mean, everybody. Sherman was first. He obviously likes to call out penalties. He did that a lot in this game. But so Sherman complains to the refs. The Bucs coaches are going crazy. They're yelling at the refs. Mike Evans had a complete conniption fit. I mean, He ran 15 yards down the sideline, yelling at the refs, throwing his helmet and everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were two big penalties right there, and they ended up getting a first down and putting them in field goal range. And the coaches and everybody was just freaking out, but Mike Evans was going ballistic.
He's ready to get into a fight with that ref.
Yeah. So those non-penalties were a big deal in this game, a big deal. And there was a four bullshit calls, where they called stuff and a couple of them were on the Patriots. I was like, that wasn't a hold. What are you calling that for? That's just ridiculous. But so see, I could be unbiased. And then we're
not going to complain about those, but
yeah, no, those are good calls, ref. And then there was one unnecessary roughness where dude slams Wirfs after the whistle again. Remember last year? Who was it? Was it Chase?
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, hip tossed. Tristan Wirfs. Yeah, the same thing happened again. Wirfs he's got to start getting mean because these guys are picking on him.
You can't let him do that.
Yeah.
Or like Jensen needs to come in there and start getting in someone's face. Like, be his big brother.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wirfs wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just pushing the guy. It was a running play. He's pushing the guy. The play's dead, and the guy grabs hold of him and kind of hip tosses him. He doesn't really hip toss him, but he does. He just picks him up, slams him to the ground.
How do you pick everybody that guy up? He's huge.
Well, he used his weight against him. But everybody again on the Buccaneers starts going, hey, you can't do that. The refs just totally ignore it. So between us dropping balls, our defense, they played lights out. I don't know how they didn't score at least one touchdown. I mean, they were doing all kinds of good stuff. It was fun watching them. And all these crappy penalties. We should have won this by 50. We should have scored 50 points. No doubt in my mind. They didn't do a thing, not a thing against us. They couldn't stop us, and they couldn't throw on us. They couldn't run on us. We could run on them all day long. We could throw on them all day, but we couldn't catch the ball.
I know.
So that's what I saw from it. And, I'm going to try to get the video out, give more detailed, so all the stuff that I'm talking about you can see. I'm going to try to pretty much do it in this format too, where I say, okay, this happened. Here's Donovan Smith just standing around. Here's Howard missing all these blocks. Here's all these penalties not being called, and blah blah blah.
I really want to see some good plays from the defense. So.
Oh yeah, I'll show you a ton of Barrett. Barrett got by the right tackle one time. He was just burning that guy all day long.
Oh no.
But he zipped past the guy, faked him out. The guy had no idea what happened. You could see him. He was just kind of like that startled look.
Yeah.
Barrett gets around him. The running back's there, and the running back sees Barrett coming, so he goes to block him. Barrett just olays him. The guy, I don't even know if he got a hand on Barrett. And Barrett almost got to Mac. I mean, he hit him, but it was after the ball was thrown. I mean, it was this close. So that happened so many times in this game. It was this close.
So close.
But I mean, he zipped past. He faked out two guys. It was so beautiful. I was like, man, that is classic Barrett. But Tryon played real well. He's got a lot of energy. That guy's he's
like 20.
Yeah, he plays like he's 20.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Buccaneers should have won by. It should have been 50 to. What they end up with 17. They shouldn't have had 17 points. Ridiculous.
I know. Okay.
All right, let's move on to the Miami Dolphins.
Oh my gosh, this one's gonna be just like that. I think no rain though, so okay. Let's go through the news really quick, and then we'll talk about the Dolphins. Khalil Davis, who we had on the practice squad, got snatched up by the Colts.
I saw that.
Like,
sad.
We cut him on Saturday because we needed a spot for injury.
Yeah, he was on waivers. On waivers. Yeah.
Dang it.
Colts have been snacking all of our guys. What's up with that?
I know. Wouldn't you?
Ryan Smith, he went to the San Diego Chargers. He was our special teams guy. They signed him to a 1 year, $1.5 million, $1.75 million. something like that. And he got hurt. He was on injured reserve, so he'll be coming back here soon.
With the Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Patriots, 2 of their offensive linemen, which I'm wondering if it was some of the guys that you were talking. I can't remember what position these guys play. I want to say one of them's a tackle, Michael Onwenu.
Oh yeah, he sucks.
And Isaiah Wynn on Monday got put on the COVID list.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they had COVID when they were playing us, huh?
Yeah. And then
cheeky bastards.
I saw a tweet earlier that said 4 of their 5 starting linemen are out or haven't practiced all week.
The Patriots?
Yeah.
No, they're just humiliated.
That sucks.
They don't want to play football anymore.
I know. I wonder who they play this weekend. They're just done. Oh, they play Houston this weekend. It's like a mini bye week.
Yeah, right.
But it's a chance for a win for them. Why would you?
Well, Houston's got a horrible offense, and they're like one of the top in fantasy to play against with your defense. But after watching this defense of the Patriots, I'm like, I'm not going to pick them up, even if Houston's bad.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with the Patriots team at all.
Well, it's funny. Ralph and I were watching some Miami Dolphins football. We watched the Colts and the Dolphins play, and that was last week. And I was like, yeah, they're playing pretty decent, whatever. And then Ralph comes in and he's like, oh my God, this is awful football.
It was absolutely atrocious.
And I'm just like, you're a snob now. Like, I feel like I've just been desensitized to bad football for so long. I'm like, oh, hey, they don't look too bad.
Yeah, see, I'm used to watching the Buccaneers play. Man.
Like the past year has just been like brain bleach for you. Like you've completely
forgot.
Overridden all the bad crap that we've gone through.
That shit didn't count.
No.
Yeah, to you, that's normal football.
I know. I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching the Colts in Miami play. This is after watching us play. I'd been sitting there watching game film all day. And I was like, oh, God, these teams are horrible. What are they doing? You were like, I thought they were okay.
I thought they were okay.
Well, no, that's really bad football there. So,
all right, we'll talk more about that in a minute. So the big hullabaloo in Bucs Nation this week was that the Patriots were cutting cornerback Stephon Gilmore, and we were like, oh, awesome, we can get Stephon Gilmore. We were definitely interested. BA said, what's his saying that he likes? We're kicking the tires. That's what he said. Yeah. So... And then the cheeky Panthers came in.
Bastards.
Traded for him. They traded a 6th-round pick in 2023. 2023!
I know. What was the deal? I want to know what happened there because the Patriots just...
They just gave him away, basically.
Apparently he's been in contract negotiations with them and it wasn't going well. He wanted more money. He's making like $7 million a year now or something like that. And he wanted... big time money, I guess. Yeah. The Panthers are going to have to give up some money. They're getting his contract, but he's not going to play for him under that contract. That's why he left New England.
Well, apparently the Falcons called, and he straight up was like, no.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Falcons got like the worst defense in the league.
Yeah.
They're down at the bottom. I like it, though. Like I said, it looks almost like ours. They're doing a lot of the same stuff we're doing. It's just, it's a hard defense.
They're copying us.
Yeah.
Copycat lead.
They just don't have the guys for it either.
Right. I know. Well, they lost their secondary. They all went with, what's his face? And Dan Quinn. He took like 2 of them. Our practice squad protections this week were kicker Jose Borregales, tight end Cody McElroy, which that one's different. We have been doing the other guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I'll think of it in a minute. Cornerback Rashard Robinson, and then safety Troy Warner, which I didn't even know we had Troy Warner. I don't even know who that is. Okay. Injuries suck. So Jamel Dean and Gio Bernard, they were practicing today. And then JPP is back, but he's got a massive cast on his right hand. Like, where the hell did that come from?
Good
Last
Lord.
we heard, it was the shoulder. What did he do to the hand? Anyone? I don't know. And then Pat O'Connor, he has a calf injury, so that sucks. Carlton Davis got put on injured reserve today, so he's out minimum 3 weeks.
Deion Yelder.
Yes.
That's the
I
other-
knew it was
the
an
other tight
name.
end,
I knew it ended in an the Dolphins, they traded wide receiver Jakeem Grant to the Bears for, again, a 2023 6th-round draft pick. So same price as Stephon Gilmore. So that happened this week. So Gronk's lung is apparently healed up, but he has not practiced, and they don't think he's going to play this weekend.
Really?
From what I understand.
Damn, it sucks.
I know.
How does a lung heal up that quick?
I don't know. Maybe it's a tiny little puncture. That's crazy. I know. Well, the Dolphins, they lost Tua to broken ribs in week 2 that he sustained against the Bills. So he's on IR. And so we have Jacoby Brissett
Oh, he is so horrible.
as the backup.
Remember we played him 2 years ago?
Didn't they beat us? It was a Jameis game.
It was a
they beat us.
Jameis game. Yeah, that's right. And so any possibility.
I know.
Could
Could have gone either way.
Brissett he's just a bad quarterback. I mean, I don't know. He's just not good. Not good. I need to go back and look at my notes I had on him. But watching him with Miami, I'm like, good. He is just a bad quarterback.
He does not make great decisions.
No.
And he's not athletic to make
No.
up for that. He does kind of have an arm. There's that, right? They got this tiny little receiver, Waddle. He's a rookie this year. Y'all watch out for him. He's their leading receiver as far as yardage goes. He's a shifty little guy. So we need to watch out for him this weekend.
We beat the Colts. It was in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, we beat them 38-35. It was a close one.
I vaguely remember that. So the Dolphins are still coached by Brian Flores. Any guess where Mr. Flores came from?
Belichick tree.
Yeah, he sure did. That is correct. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Or was that a guess? Oh, you know.
No.
Okay. Darn it. I didn't know that. So he got hired by the Patriots in like 2008, I want to say. And then before that, well, as a coach, and before that he was in their scouting department since like 2004. So he was with that organization a long time, and he knows Brady pretty well, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
And-
Belichick knows Brady well, too.
Yeah,
They
I
couldn't
know.
do
A lot of
anything.
good that did him.
That one sack, they got one sack on us, and that one sack was because of Ronald Jones. He ended up knocking Kappa off the block. Kappa had the dude blocked. Jones goes over, acts like he's going to help. He ends up getting in Kappa's way and knocked him off the guy.
Don't help.
Guy ended up getting a sack. Yeah, Jones just go find somebody else. Go find your own man to block.
Go help OJ. Maybe between the two of you can block one person.
Oh, that's funny.
So the Miami's offense, Greg Allman tweeted this. So he said our defense is going to get a break on Sunday with the Dolphins coming to town because they rank 31st in total offense, 31st in scoring, 30th in passing, 28th in rushing, 24th in sack percentage, 24th on third down, and 30th in time of possession. Their highest ranking is their red zone ranking, which is 15th.
Wow.
So their average in the red zone, and everything else, they're horrible.
Good.
So
we need this game.
We got that going for us. It's a 1:00 game. They are 1-3 currently. Again, their only win was against the Patriots week 1. Then they played the Bills, got shut out by the Bills 35-0. The Raiders, that one was a close game, 31-28. And then the Colts, that one was a little close. Like, to me, that was back and forth. It wasn't even until like the fourth quarter where it really got away from the Dolphins, and it was the Colts defense, right? Because they had some turnovers.
Yeah.
Did they score on defense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
wait a minute. No, that was the Raiders.
The Colts. Oh, that
it's
was
like
the
Miami
Raiders.
scored against the Raiders. What do I think? Did Colts? Can't remember, but yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about this one.
Yeah.
They got no big names, like their running back, Brown. Let me see.
Are we
Brown.
playing at Miami?
No, we're playing at home.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
We are just going to destroy this team.
It's going to be sad.
It's going to be nice. We need it.
For them.
You know, I thought we were going to dominate Dallas. They gave us a bigger fit than they should have. Then Atlanta, we beat up on them like we should have. And then the Rams, you know, that was an ugly game. Stupid refs. And then last week, the Patriots, I thought for sure we were going to put up 40 points, you know, at least 30. And we just, you know, laid an egg. We need a game to get our confidence up or whatever, you know, to just kind of shake off the rust or something. We just haven't clicked yet, and we're not.
Okay. Let's talk about this. I listened to Tom Brady's podcast, Let's Go. It's a serious show. He gets interviewed by some guy. I haven't bothered to learn his name yet. But he brought up to Brady. They do it like every week. So Brady talked about the win this week. And he said, Brady, you have always said that football starts at Thanksgiving. And that goes along with Molly's rule of thirds in football. And so that's what I think is happening. I think we're just kind of taking it easy.
Yeah.
We're winning where we can in the beginning, but we're not overexerting ourselves. We're trying not to strain ourselves, but good Lord, with all the injuries we've sustained, you wouldn't know that. But so that's my theory, is that we'll start getting, again, like last year, we'll start getting serious probably November, December.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'd still like to see them curb stomp somebody, though.
Well, maybe it'll be Miami this week. I think
I'm
there's
hoping.
a good chance.
I am so
Ralph,
hoping.
I know. Our anniversary is Monday, so maybe we'll have a good...
What? Oh, crap. Thanks for reminding me.
It's okay. I haven't bought you anything.
We got to buy stuff for each other?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You better buy me something. Buy me something nice. You don't even know what this anniversary is.
8th.
I think
Which
we
is
just
squid.
talked about it this morning.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Squid.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
You'll tell me
Yeah.
what?
It's bronze.
Oh, that's a cool one.
It's the bronze anniversary. Or ceramic.
I want a diving helmet. Bronze diving helmet.
Okay.
That look, you're like, what?
What? Okay. Oh, let's go through the injury report real quick.
Yeah, you
I
better
forgot
do it
about that. I
quick.
had
Look,
that
we're at an
I know.
hour already.
I know, and the game's already started.
Oh, son of a bitch.
It like barely picked that up. Okay. Giovanni Bernard with his knee injury. He's been limited all week. Antonio Brown also has a knee injury. He's been a full participant. Carlton Davis, no surprise. He did not participate all week. He's on IR today. Jamel Dean, also a knee injury. 3 knee injuries. He was limited. He's been limited all week, but he is practicing, so I think that's promising. Chris Godwin has a thumb injury. He's been a full participant. Gronk did not practice. Patrick O'Connor with his calf. He hasn't participated all week. Jason Pierre-Paul with the shoulder and the hand. He's been limited.
So he's not going to play.
How? What?
You said he?
JPP will, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been limited all week. I mean, he is practicing.
Okay.
And then Winfield with the concussion, he did not participate. BA said he's not optimistic that Winfield will play Sunday. So that'll stink.
Yeah. He is so good.
I know. On the Dolphins side, cornerback Xavier Howard has a shoulder injury. He was a full participant Wednesday and then was limited Thursday. So, safety Brandon Jones has an ankle. He was a full participant. Cornerback Byron Jones has a quad/Achilles injury. He did not practice on Wednesday and then was limited Thursday. Center Greg Manx has a neck injury. He was fine on Wednesday and then showed up on Thursday on the injury report, but was a full participant, so I don't know how much that really affected him. Oh, God, why is this so tiny? Okay. Wide receiver Devontae Parker has a shoulder and a hamstring. He's been limited all week. And then tight end Adam Shaheen. I got this. Shaheen has a neck injury. He was limited Wednesday and a full participant on Thursday.
All right.
So there we go.
Well, we're going to whoop the Dolphins. You want to give a prediction?
I do.
Do it. What do you got?
Let me think about this. Okay. I am going to go with Bucs. I'll go with 35. Dolphins, 17.
Almost exact score from last week.
Oh, really?
You said 31-17 last week.
Okay.
I'm gonna do kind of the same thing, except I'm gonna go even worse. I'm gonna go 40-0.
Oh my gosh! Hey, we can do it. The Bills shut them out.
I think we're gonna shut them out. We could definitely do it, whether we will or not. They're a bad team. I mean, Brissett, he's just horrible. So I fully expect us to be a big, very lopsided game.
We're gonna have Romo announcing.
That's good.
So there we go.
Yeah. So 40-0. What did the Bills do? They were 35-0?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. We're going to do 40-0.
That was the game that Tua got injured, though.
Yeah.
So kind of a weird circumstance.
Yeah, this is one of those games where I'm just like, I just want us to just curb stomp them. Just for
make a statement.
Shits and giggles. Yeah. We haven't done that yet to anybody, and it's kind of bothering me because we can do it. All right. That's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Till next time.
Go Bucs.